Welcome to day 158, excerpts from The Sovereign Light, a course in metaphysical spirituality. My name is Maria, and this is pages 435, 36, and I believe 37 out of 852. Yes. Oh my goodness, 38 even. 39. Maybe this is going to be a long one. Okay, 40. We'll see what we can do. And shall we begin? The mind oppresses, and with intention to defend, a made-up story that the body with reaction will reject. The self for being. In this place, find a comfortable position, as busy as the foreground. Find within that still point. And ground and center. You can opt to have your eyes closed or open. And shall we begin? Sounds good. I release my oppressed state of being by letting go of all my judgments I made real. I release my oppressed state of being by letting go of all my judgments I made real. I release my oppressed state of being by letting go of all my judgments I made real. And just take a few deep breaths in and let it sink in, this idea for the day. The being of self is a walking miracle and unto itself, a made-up universe that cooperatively functions in harmony, well, and with all that is. When the mind can release itself and from all its thoughts of grandeur to control itself and thus manipulate its system, it can find resonance. It will awaken to its many systems and through to a cellular existence to allow that which holds and for the self a voice to communicate intuitively and from its environment back to itself without the mind. The heart, and just like it, so many more systems. The mind must allow to work with and all as equally important to the light as itself, to the self. The mind has caused much suffering to wait over its entirety. From the whole integrated perspective that is the self and from its given privy to imagination. In an awakened state, the body of the self will be released from its emotional bondage and the stressful reactions. Judgments to the circumstances, and that the mind resists from being as oppressed into a harmful and physical reactions from the body to signal out. The body has far too long been cut off from the self and its many systems. Further and further, the separation has blocked off communication from what the mind chooses to filter through its limited awareness. The mind, in so many aspects, has lost touch and integration the more its beliefs solidify from its judgments. I release my oppressed state of being by letting go of all my judgments I made real. Judgment is the final death rattle of a weary mind, and to release its final intentions. For hell is proof in its disregard and to the miracles that made up life. Where there is no light to be found, love will lead the way to find it. Where there is no love to be found, the light will lead the way to find it. Compassion will find its way, and the mind too is made possible in this way. To surrender to the heart. It is through the heart that the mind can possibly find its way home and center for self into the light. When the body of the self is released from all blockages to find its light, and within every cell, the voice in celebration will be that of the many, rejoicing in the kingdom of heaven, not begging to be allowed in. This is a state of being that creates worlds, and most of all, the state that will bring heaven on earth. To open up the kingdom of heaven, and from within the many to light up the world in this way without having to beg for it. In this world, all illusion of pain, fear, sickness, harm, heavy-hearted hate, and even death, they are all judgments and must be dismissed at the gates before entry. Oppression is to limit full expression because of what is deemed appropriate and what is not up to standards that the mind will cast forth in judgment. The result of such neglect to the self is to deny its emotional growth and stifle it deep within its physical body. Do you hear the voices crying out and doing in their own intentions? The body of the self can cover and for a certain while what is not compatible. Then it must expel freely and without the imposed filters from the mind's limited awareness. We are creators, not victims. The mind must overcome its imaginations of death and to choose the body made stronger than the truth, which asks it any other than to live on. I release my oppressed state of being by letting go of all my judgments I made real. The judgments from impervious laws and imposed to blind the body's eyes make it a slave, and to its decay is that of a sick mind. The mind must imagine a short circuit in its power. To control and create for such defense over its struggle for obedience to it. The pressure of its application and to understand time is again the struggle in the meeting up with its many intentions. Will throw it into a hurried state of comparison and in so doing, overbeing. Today, just allow for perhaps a quarter of an hour in the morning and then evening to focus on a centering into the truth that is light, this consciousness, this spirit, and before its eyelids do meet in closing with the following statement to support today's idea. And with today's activation, we commence to say these words out loud. I let go of all my judgments I made real and release my oppressed state of being. In this way, I can begin to heal and connect to the world collectively on this resonance. I let go of all my judgments I made real and release my oppressed state of being. In this way, I can begin to heal and connect to the world collectively on this resonance. With eyes closed, silence the mind, and with a few deep breaths, go deep into the heart to feel the love here and now. Within the mind, nothing else exists, and from its emptiness, that the soothing of the heart to feel it and into its awareness is this peace. Focus, and from where the part of the body, the discomfort is, visualize it in its darkness. Within this moment, feel the body out. Allow to feel and for a physical pain or discomfort. Go within its very cell to hear it and listen. Listen in for a message. Speak to it in love. And most of all, be compassionate. I release my oppressed state of being by letting go of all my judgments I made real. Throughout the day, when the body feels discomfort or in any way of pain, stop and sample this for yourself. Extend the meditation, perhaps for a little while longer. Stop and take a moment to pause, and with it, you can also ask yourselves, how can I help relieve with love the separation from my thoughts that have created this feeling in, and fill in the blank. And do it again. How can I help relieve with love the separation from my thoughts that have created? And what feeling is it? Fill in the blank. And do it as many times as you feel is needed. And then say once again, I let go of all my judgments I made real, and release my oppressed state of being. The purpose for today is to reconnect from all its parts and into the oneness that is self. And I will leave you with today's statement once more. As I repeat it, you can slowly come around and blink your eyes open with each breath. And come to recognize once more within your surroundings and all the things that press upon for you to engage with. I let go of all my judgments I made real, and release my oppressed state of being. Thank you.